Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we're going to talk about the Summer of Pain Venom boss. Now, he's not that tricky of a boss, but the nodes are a little bit annoying. So basically, he's going to gain tons of buffs throughout the fight. He's going to gain lots of furies because every time you hit him, there's a chance he'll gain another fury. And then he is immune to power control or power manipulation. And then you can't knock him down unless you have 6 or more debuffs on him at the time that you knock him down. So Symbiote Supreme is one of the best options for this fight because he has a stagger effect which can prevent buffs from applying. He can also has a nullify, but it is 95% less effective against this boss because of one of the nodes, Mystic Ward. So you'll have less chance to nullify, but you still can nullify buffs. And so Symbiote Supreme also has the potential to stack a bunch of bleeds, which means if you get 6 or more bleeds or 5 bleeds and a parry stun, you can throw your special 3 and get some burst damage by knocking the opponent down while you have 6 or more debuffs applied. If you accidentally knock him down when you do not have 6 or more debuffs, you will take damage instead. So you can see we stacked up some bleeds. Now we're throwing off the special 3, and after the special 3, we're going to see some burst damage applied to Venom, and it's actually a pretty significant amount. We're at 88% here, and now we're down to 83%. We got over 22,000 burst damage after that special 3. And then with the special 3, we get all the buffs applied, and I did take a hit by a special 2. You want to bait out special 1s as much as you can. But now we can stack up more bleeds, and look at that. We have another special 3 because of all the buffs we were able to take advantage of with Mystic Dispersion. We put another 6 debuffs on him, and we were able to cycle another special 3. Now you can do this frequently as long as you're able to bait out special attacks quickly, because the buffs do not last that long. And you can see I parried him, and then I was trying to bait out a special attack. So now I'm not stacking up the debuffs that I need in order to throw off another special 3 when I get there. And now the buff has ended, so I no longer can apply those bleeds until it comes back around to that cycle that allows me to stack bleeds once again. So now I'm saving my special 3 until that time. This is another clip to show a bit, once again, about how you can chain on if you're able to bait out attacks very quick. So I baited out, so I had him low power as soon as I threw that special 3. Once it ended, I was able to bait out another special attack and then go in to apply some more bleeds. And before I was about halfway out of my buffs, I tried to bait out an attack so I could get a couple rounds of bleeds applied before that buff ended. And as you can see, we were able to squeeze in enough debuffs, but we had him high on power and I couldn't bait it out, so I just threw the special 3 before that bleed expired, and that meant that he had 2 bars of power. And so what I ended up deciding to do, instead of messing up, I wanted to get the solo, so I decided to block some of the hits from the special 2 because he wouldn't throw his special attacks, and I got backed into the corner. I had to block quite a few of those hits, and he is sometimes unblockable with his special attacks, so you're going to have to be very cautious about that. And what is annoying is he's a very aggressive fighter, except with his special attacks. Sometimes he holds onto them and just charges at you and throws like 2 or 3 hits after the first charge, which can be quite annoying. Now he's down to about 5% health here. I'm throwing off the special 3 with the hopes that I'll deal enough damage, and if you remember, the burst damage alone from knocking him down with enough debuffs was enough, and so we did finish him off with that final special 3. And we were able to do that in about 173 hits, so not bad at all. Now that is also one of the objectives, is to defeat him with a symbiote champion, but the other objectives are to defeat the boss with a Spider-Verse hero, as well as one with a tech champion. Now Stark Spider-Man is a great option for this, but he is a very squishy champion. Mine is only at rank 3, and with the aggressive playstyle of Venom, you can get backed up into the wall very quickly. So you want to be cautious about keeping him on the right side of the map so that you have a lot of room just in case you need to utilize it. The other nice thing about Stark Enhanced Spider-Man is the taunt, and it is very easy to keep the taunts active as long as you're above 50% health. And this will allow you to bait out special 1s much more easily, to continue the flow of the fight, to be quicker, as well as to bait the special attacks quicker so you don't get backed into the corner. Now I unfortunately messed up and lost some some health, so now I'm below 50%, which means my taunts are going to fall off quicker, but I was able to maintain a fairly aggressive playstyle and still able to bait out special attacks quite well, and I was able to keep him on the far right side of the screen. Now, I did not get a solo with Stark Enhanced Spider-Man yet, but I'll continue to practice that throughout the week, and I have seen people getting solos with him already, and that's fantastic because you can then get 2 of those objectives checked off with this one fight. Now, if you don't have Stark Enhanced Spider-Man or don't like using him, another Spider-Verse hero that might be good is Spider-Ham. Now, you cannot control his power, but because he's going to be throwing lots of special attacks, ideally special ones if you can bait them out, you can get a lot of damage dealt to him with those power stings or the porker poppers, and that can really help speed up your run. So I haven't even leveled up my Spider-Ham. He's, I think, still level 1 or maybe a few levels, but he's not max rank 1 yet as a 6-star, and I was having a lot of fun with him, and before I realized it, I actually had done a pretty significant amount of damage, and even with just a few revives could get it done with him. But if you'll notice, I had more than 10 of those passive porker poppers on him, and so after the special 3, it technically would apply more than 10 debuffs, so I didn't take any damage back, and in fact Venom took the burst damage from knocking him down. So with Spider-Ham, you can actually still throw your special 3s and get some extra damage off of it. So now we've taken off about 20% with an unranked 6-star champion, and look at all that burst damage that he's taking every time he throws a special attack. So if you have a Spider-Ham ranked up and you need him as a Spider-Verse champion, that will work just fine. Now, if you need a tech champion because you didn't use Stark Enhanced Spider-Man and you used a different Spider-Verse champion instead, Guillotine is a fantastic option because she has armor, so you won't take as much damage on hits, and she can scale up a ton of damage after getting over 100 hits. So you can see that the damage is already starting to increase quite significantly. Even at 150 hits, we're getting about 2,000 burst damage off of every single hit. Now, the downside with Guillotine is you can't knock Venom down, otherwise you will take burst damage. And if you really wanted a failsafe and you're at this point in the fight and you don't think you're going to take that much chip damage and you haven't used your regeneration yet, you could theoretically throw a couple heavy attacks, bite the burst damage so you had a safety net. I decided not to risk it myself because I wanted enough damage to take as many blocked hits as possible, but I actually never had to take the regen at all through this fight. And look at now, we're over 200 hits on the combo meter and we're dealing almost 4,000 burst damage on every single hit, and each hit on the combo meter is going up like 50 to 100 damage every single time. So it's starting to, maybe not quite, I think about 50 to 100 damage more with the burst damage every single increase hit on the combo meter. So we're scaling up that damage very quickly. We're already down to now 2%, and just as a failsafe in case I messed something up, I decided to throw that special 3 and guarantee the kill. So I do hope that this video is helpful. It's not necessarily the most complicated fight to understand, but it can be tricky with the various requirements. Let me know what champions you use, how it went for you, and I really do hope to see you in the next video.